Hi. So basically, this is going to be like a complete presentation on how to do the things you requested. So once you come to the website, you have to click on operations at the top here. When you click on operations, you will see that it will bring you to this set of items over here on the left. You click on production cycle. I noticed that you created a lot of plans. You have a lot of these things. Like the other day when I was explaining to you people, I said that this is just for planning. This does not really change anything in the system. So this is not compulsory. This, you can skip this step. You don't have to come and create all the plans. For example, let's say somebody would want something, and then the production would say, oh, they want to see how much it will cost. You can come and plan everything here and then know the total cost. Okay, but ideally this is not important. What is important is when you come to operations, you go to production cycle, then you click on start new work order. This one, when you click on start new work order, you click here on direct materials, because this is where you are coming to assign list all the materials that come with that work order. So somebody brings the work order, you click on operations, you go to production cycle, then you click on start new work order, then you click on direct material, then you select the branch as Takrady branch, okay, for you to be Takrady branch, and then the date you think the project will be done. Okay, the hourly rate you can leave it blank, but if you get that information from the production team, you can put the value there, the cost per hour there. Then you can put any notes, maybe a description of the item that comes with the item. You can put in a description here, so I'll just leave here as hello. Now this is where you start adding the materials you need for that particular production, or for that particular work order, or let me say for that particular estimate, however you want to call it. So let's say we are making kitchen cabinet, Mr. Joe, you can put their number there. Okay, that will be the title of the product you are making. Then you click on add row. So when you click on add row, you can search the material one by one. Like you sent me a picture of the materials and the quantity you need. So you are going to put the material and the quantity you need for that particular production. Okay, so you can put, maybe because I don't have those products, I'll select products I have, but you can select the right product. Okay, then you add another material. Okay, maybe another material. Okay, then the quantity. Now you ask the question whether the board, if it comes in pieces, and if it's half. So the boards, you measure them. You have 3/4, you have different boards. So depending on the kind of board, let's say if it is a full board and you are giving half will be 0.5. So you put 0.5 over here. You are following? You put 0.5 over here. So just convert it to decimal for the board, but it will be in pieces, right? It means half a piece of the board. So that's how you do the fraction. The fraction will be in decimals. Okay, so then you can add the next item. Okay, you can add the next item you want. So you can list all the items that are on the estimate here. For the first time, list everything, because when you list everything, it's easy, it makes your life easier, rather than you list some part of it and then you come back and then you come and adjust. I'll teach you how to do the adjustment too. Maybe let's add a third item. Maybe we are adding cabbage or something like that. Maybe because I don't want to touch the main account, that's why I'm using this as an example. So you will be selecting the main items and the quantities you need for that particular product. When you're done, you see the total cost here. Then you click here on submit work order. Now when you click on submit work order, wait for it to load. You see that it will bring you to this page here. Okay, you see the list of all the work orders you have. Okay, so this is the current work order we just submitted. Now when you submit a work order, it does not do the deduction. It only reserves the item. So when you click here, you can see that these items are reserved for the work for Mr. Joe, but it has not done the deduction yet. When does the deduction happen? The deduction will only happen when you begin to issue the items on this list. So you click on this blue icon to start the issuing. So you can see here, issue. Now if you want to give all these things out at once, you click here to fill remaining. So you fill everything and then you click on issue to production. It means that on the estimate they need 2 and you have issued 2. They need 2, you have issued 2. They need 2, you have issued 2. When you save issue to production, it will go ahead and deduct those items according to this work order or according to this estimate. according to how much you stated that you needed for the product when you were putting in the work order. But let's say now you want to do partial issuing. Maybe you have all of these. Okay, you want to issue them all of these, and you want to issue them maybe one, and then they'll come for 1 liter. And then this one you want to issue them one, they'll come for 1 liter. When you issue this, see what will happen. Wait for it to load. It will load, and then it will bring you to this page. Okay, when it brings you to this page, you can see that now you've issued the 2. They needed, you reserved 2 from the beginning, and then you've issued the 2 out, so you are done with them. You don't have to give them anything anymore. Here you can see that you are left with 1 to give them because you've only issued them 1. Here too, you are left with 1 to give them because you've only issued them 1. So you can always, when you are done, you can always come back to operations and then go back to your production cycle. Then you go to what? Active work in progress. You will come back to that kitchen cabinet we are doing for Mr. Joe. Then you come back to what? This part here where we call issue materials to production. Then you come and issue the remaining ones. Maybe these ones, they are coming for it, so I'm issuing this one, and maybe this one is not ready yet, so I'm not issuing anything for this. So I'll just click on issuing to production again, and then once you see it loads, it tells you the item is issued, right? So now you can see that this one, you've issued it all out, you don't have to give them anything anymore. And then this one, there's 1 more left to give them. You are getting it? So let's say finally I've given them 1 more, that 1 more, I issue to production, and then if I go back, you can see that now everything is issued on this particular kitchen cabinet for Mr. Joe. Everything is issued. You've issued out everything to them. And then the records of how you were doing the issuing will all show here, and then the dates you were doing the issuing will also all show here. Okay, now let's say that they needed more. Instead of they plan to use 2, but they are supposed to give them maybe 3. So you can issue 1 more, but to tell you that you have over issued. Okay, and which is a good thing because we want to know the total estimate from the beginning and how much actually went into the actual production. Okay, so if I issue this to production, you see that the system will acknowledge it as over issued, which is okay because they needed 2 but they ended up using 3. Okay, that's how you manage the issuing. And how do you always go back to issue? Like I told you, go to operations, go to production cycle, and go to what? Active work in progress. This is when you want to start to put in the work order, but this is when after you've put in the work order, you want to what? You want to go back and issue something according to that work order or that estimate. Work order is the same as estimate. Okay, now let's now say that we've noticed that we needed another product to add to the work order. Okay, but that item was not in the list in the work order when we started. What do? You click here to adjustment, then you add that product. So remember we added only 1, 2, 3 materials. Now we want to add other materials so that we issue out that material also. So you click on adding that material, you set your inventory for that material. If it is screw, you type screw. I don't have screw. If it's screw, you start screw. But if it is maybe cream or something like that, I have something like that. See, so I have something like broccoli or something like that, and I just go ahead and the quantity they need for that work order, then you add. So you can add all the materials you need, right? If you want to remove this, you can remove it. Okay, so you can add all the materials they need. Okay, you can add all the materials they need, and then you can go ahead and what? Add all the materials they need, and then the quantities they need, right? You just step. So once you add the new materials, okay, you have to come here and then what? Save changes here. And then once you save changes, those new materials will now be considered as part of the what? The item you are making. Are you getting it? As part of the item you are making. Now, how do I issue? Because this is reserved because we just added this new. You can see new materials added, right? We've not issued it yet. So how to issue it? Again, go to operations, go to production cycle, go to active work in progress. Okay, and then you click on what? The blue button here. Okay, then you will see the page to issue. So you can see that this thing here, you've not issued anything for the new material. You've not issued anything. So you click, I'm issuing 2 of these, and I'm issuing maybe another 1 of these. Maybe this one is partial issuing. This one means I'm issuing all of them. Or you can just say fill, and it will fill. If I do fill, it will fill everything. But because I'm issuing 1, I can't fill everything. So, or 2, I can't fill everything. Then you issue to production, and that is it. You've issued to production, and it's gone. So now you are only left with one item to issue for this particular work order. So to know what item you are left to issue, just go to operations, go to production cycle, and go to active work in progress, and click on the blue material on that particular work order for the kitchen cabinet for Mr. Joe. Click on it, and then you see what is left to issue to them. Here you can see that you've even over issued there. You've issued everything here except the hand sanitizer or whatever item is left to issue. You are getting it? So that is how you manage the issuing and then the whole issuing for the production. Now your second question is the stock management. Let's go to stock. If there is an item that is not in the list, so stock management, again, you go to operation. Everything is at operations, okay? Then you go to stock management, then you go to your stock level. Now you are familiar with the stock level, but let's say there is an item, let's say screw, and that item is not listed as part of these items over here. How do we add it? Okay, so this time you go to what? Stock level, stock management, then you click on new stock. Here, new stock. When you click on the new stock, you add an information on the name of the stock. Maybe it is a hammer, a screw you are adding. Okay, everything in capital letters. You can say 2-inch screw or something like that. Describe it. Okay, however you call it. Put the name over there in capital letters. Okay, and then you can describe it. Just the description can be the same as the name. Then the cost per unit. Every item has a unit of measurement, whether it is in pieces, it is in pounds, it is in kilogram, it is in whatever. You select the unit of measurement. Now the cost per unit means that if this is a 2-inch screw, what is the cost per 1 pound? What is the cost per 1 pound? If you select pound here, what is the cost per 1 pound? If it is pieces, what is the cost per piece of that item? So that is the meaning of the cost per unit. The unit is either liters, kilogram, pieces, pounds, or whatever, but then the cost per unit, per 1 unit of that item, what is the cost? So you put the cost here, then you put the code of the item. You can put any code you want over there, and then the minimum required is usually 1, right? If it is left with 1, it should alert you, or it should flag it as restock, right? Here, don't select manufacturing because all the items you are putting here are raw materials. So don't select this box over here. Just select 1 and 2. This transferable and enable for store. And then the category is always going to be raw material for you. Okay, raw material for you. It's always going to be raw material. When you are done, you click on add item. You see that new stock item added. Okay, how do we see this item in our list? You come to your stock level, and then you select the branch you are looking at. So you will be at Takrady branch, and then you set the item. Okay, I think we added some inch screw. You can see the 2-inch screw we added over here, right? This is the one we just added. Now it's part of the list, but we don't have any quantity remaining. So to put the quantity remaining, we just put restock, and then we count the item remaining. Maybe we have 30 pieces or 30 pieces of that item remaining. Then we save restock. Okay, once we save restock, it will tell us that item successfully saved. So when we come and we search for that inch again, you can see that the 30 is now remaining 30. Are you following? So always make sure you select your Takrady branch before you click on the restock to add the item and save restock. Okay, perfect. Now your last question, which is how do we purchase or receive these items into the system? There is something we call manual restock, where you are already doing, which is you come and just add the quantities here directly, but that is not a good approach. You can always search the item and then put the total quantity you've received. So if I've received 2-inch screw, maybe 20 pieces, I can come here and put the 20 here and I'll save. Okay, when I save the 20 pieces, if I go back to the 2-inch screw, you can see that it has now become 40. From 30 now, you can do that, but that is not good. It's not a good approach, right? So what you have to do is to go to purchases and expenses here. Purchases and what? Expenses. Okay, then you go to stock purchase. Then you enter the invoices into the system so that the invoices can also be tracked. So we go to purchases, stock purchase, meaning you have purchased the items and you are putting them in the system. Then you click on new purchase order. Now you at the top left here, you search the item that you received. So maybe I received screw. I can put screw here and then put the quantity. If the unit rate is not the same as what it's in the system, I can change it. So maybe one is 20 cedis according to us in the system, but now we bought it at 22 cedis, or even less, 18 cedis. So you put the 18 there. for one. So we bought quantity 2, the unit price or one price for one is 18. The expiry date, since your items don't expire, you just put any date over there. Then you click on add. If there's another item again that we want to receive into the system, you search the item, okay, and then the quantity you want to receive. Again, if the unit price is not correct according to the invoice you got, you change the unit price, maybe now it's 6 per 1, and then you add. So you keep adding, okay, you keep adding all the different items that you want to put into the system and the quantities that you had on the invoice. So you can see it's adding everything. Now you can select the supplier. Open market is like already on the system, but you can also see that the supplier who supply you that item, if you want to keep their information, that one, you go to people and then you click go to suppliers and you add a new supplier. You just need to type in the name of the supplier and then their contact details. So when you come back here and you click and you search that supplier, their contact and their information, or the moment you are searching, the supplier will come like this. When you click on it, their contact and the information you already put in the system will appear here. You don't have to type this and that. Okay, then you select the method of payment for that invoice, whether it is cash, and if there's any discount you received, you put it there, and then you just say maybe receipt of goods. Okay, receipt of what? Of goods. That's all. Of raw material of good. Then you go to process purchase order. Okay, once you process purchase order, you can see it here. It says that what? Purchase order created successfully. So when you go to your operations and then you go to what? Your stock purchase. Okay, you should see the new order you've entered. This is the new order, but the status is what? Pending. So when you click on it, you can see the items you added, the 2-inch screw, and then the quantity, the count price, and the other items. But it has not added to our inventory yet. Okay, to add it to the inventory, you need to authorize the order. So you click on authorize, and then yes, authorize. And now you can see that the item quantities would go up. So we bought 2 of these, right? The quantities must go up for what? The Takrady branch. Okay, the 2 must go up. Okay, so that is how you put the purchases into the system. Okay, that's how you record the purchases into the system. Okay, that's how you record the purchases into the system. So always come to your stock level and then come and check your stock level. So you can see that it was 40, but since we bought 2, now it has gone to 42. For the 2-inch screw, we added 2, so it has gone to 42. So that is how you acknowledge your purchase, or you input the receipts of the items into the system. You go to purchases and then you put in the invoice there and then approve it, and then the quantity will go up, as you can see over here. All right, so that is it. Please, if you have any question, don't feel free to ask me and I will do a video for you. Bye bye.